So this is going to be a very honest review of Replit, especially their agent version 3, which they released about 2 days ago. And this is a brand new vibe coding agent that a lot of people have been using and talking about recently. They also raised $250 million a few days ago, which a lot of people are talking about, which also means that they're going to be reaching out more to influencers and like YouTubers and so forth, and trying to buy their videos by doing sponsorships with them. They have actually reached out to me before over here, and then I just said thank you for the email, but I don't accept sponsors. So this video is not sponsored by them. Basically, I'm going to pay for it myself and see how good it actually is at making useful web applications. So the thing that I'm going to try and make with Replit in this video is a tool that I really want myself, because I've been doing a lot of manual work to like achieve the same result. And basically the motivation for this tool is that AI SEO has gotten quite popular, and basically AI gets most of its information from Reddit, Wikipedia, YouTube, and so forth, when it's like giving answers in its search results. And what that means for me personally, because I make YouTube videos, is I want my YouTube videos to appear in like AI search results. Whenever someone like asks AI question, hopefully one of my videos shows up. And the way they do this with videos is that they look through the transcript of the video to make sure like whatever is being talked about is the thing that the user searched for. But the YouTube auto transcription is often wrong, and it like misspells company names and other things, which is bad for wanting to appear in the search results. So what I do myself is I use Assembly AI, and then I go over here, press transcribe new file. I then choose the audio of the video that I want transcribed. So I choose like this over here, and then it transcribes the video as shown over here. But the thing is, it's still like wrong in the sense like it says codec instead of codecs. There's a lot of typos still in the video. And the way to resolve these typos is actually to then take this transcript, which is more accurate than the YouTube transcript, and then give it to Gemini 2.5 Pro. So I give the video and the transcript. I say list out all the typos. So it lists the typos out here based on the like visual elements of the video. And then it gives a corrected transcript over here. And then I upload this to YouTube, and my videos appear in the search results better and like ChatGPT results better because the transcript is actually really accurate. Now, this is like a manual process that I've been doing so far. This is what I want to make with Replit. So it's going to be more useful than the random to-do apps that you see other people making. So firstly, I'm going to upgrade to Replit Core over here. It is $25 a month, so we're going to press continue here. So I just paid for Replit. It is $30 if I include tax, and I'm going to describe the application that I actually want. So instead of typing, I'm going to use my tool HyperWhisper. There's a coupon code down below if you also want to use it. And I'm basically going to say, hey, so I want you to make an application where I can upload a video file, and then from the video file, it extracts the audio, it sends the audio to Assembly AI to transcribe everything that's being said, and then it passes the transcript alongside the video file to Gemini 2.5 Pro, and it tells Gemini 2.5 Pro to basically correct any of the typos that are in the transcript, and then allow me to download the transcript again as a .txt file that I can then upload onto YouTube. The user interface should be pretty simple, just a basic like upload video file, and then it should show me the progress of like roughly what stage it's currently on, and also check with the Assembly AI docs and also check with the Gemini 2.5 Pro docs to understand how it should work and fit together. So you can see it's transcribing everything that I just said, and it pasted into here. So just to be sure, I'm going to paste in the URL for Assembly AI, copy and paste it over here, and then press start chat. And now it says creating application, so we'll see what this comes up with. And it seems that it's searching through Replit's integrations, and now you can see it has integrations for Gemini AI and App Storage, and it basically gave me this plan over here. So like I've made applications before vibe coding was a big thing, and this plan looks pretty good to me, and it's pretty much the same thing that I would do as well. So I'm going to press build the entire application instead of doing start with a design, and then I'll just fast forward through the building part. So I'll press start building here. Hey, so as a short aside, if you're interested in learning more about vibe coding and vibe marketing as well, and all the best tools that are available, and being part of a community where people are actively discussing these ideas, such as like what tech stack you should be using, how you should get customers and paying customers for your applications, and you also want to learn from me and get some mentorship from me as well, then I offer all of that in my AI startup school. There will be a link down below if you are interested in joining it, and many people have already found it pretty helpful, because if I go to this testimonial page over here, you can see that many people have already managed to get their first users, land deals with clients, and also make money from their mobile applications and web applications all over here. There will be a link in the description down below if you're interested, so do check it out. And now it should be coming to life. Okay, so now after about 4 minutes of work, it stopped and asked me for a Gemini API key. So I'm going to go and create one for myself. And now I can press continue here. But it seems like there's another error happening here where I need to have an assembly API key, of course. but it didn't prompt me to add one. So I actually don't know where to add this API key. So I'm going to press debug with AI. And it seems what happens is when you press that, then it basically makes a new chat. And I can go to a previous chat, which was doing the main work over here. Now, unfortunately, it's a bit slow because it's going for the entire code base just to ask me like, hey, do you want to add the assembly AI API key? So actually, I'm just going to press stop and then go back to the previous chat. And it seems I can't actually go back to the previous chat, which was going to make the entire project. So that's annoying. Anyways, I'm going to manually add this assembly API key to my account secrets over here, and then copy the key over, paste it into here, save, and I can say continue with the project plan. And I guess the nice thing is that when I click on a piece of work over here, that it shows me how much it actually used when I was doing that piece of work. But the fact that I wasted 80 cents in credits for this assembly API environment variable thing that I was trying to fix with it is pretty bad when I could have just gone here and added it to my account secrets. And hopefully it continues with the plan properly, even though this is a brand new chat. So whilst we're waiting, they also seem to have a high power model mode here, which is 5 times the normal cost. If I go to learn more, it basically upgrades the agent from using Claude Sonnet to Claude Opus, which is, of course, I think about 5 times more expensive as well. Reading through the page, there does seem to be information about cost transparency, which is quite good because a lot of people can end up wasting a lot of money on vibe coding tools if they don't exactly know what they're doing. So now after about 5 minutes of work, it's done, taking about $1.09. And I can upload a video, but it says up to 500 megabytes, unfortunately. The video I had planned to upload is actually 1.72 gigabytes. So let me see if that actually still works. Maybe press open. And it says it has to be smaller than 500 megabytes. So I'll say make the video size limit 5 gigabytes. And now that task is also done, taking about 25 cents. But anyway, let's test it out. So upload this video. And it still says it has to be smaller than 500 megabytes. The bottom right corner still says, please upload a video file smaller than 500 megabytes. Okay, now that task took 32 cents. Let's try one more time to upload here. And I'm clicking the file. There's no actual indication that it's being uploaded. Let me try with a different file here. Interesting, so it suddenly changed, meaning that it was being uploaded in the background somehow, but didn't give me an indication it was being uploaded. But anyway, let's press stop processing. Let me refresh the page and try this one more time. Okay, select this file here. Stop processing. No video file uploaded. So it's not uploading the file. Hey, so I get error, no video file uploaded for some reason. And then press enter and see what's happening now. Okay, so now it made another change and it claims that it should be working now. So that took 48 cents. And let me refresh the page here. All right, let me check my activity monitor to make sure it's actually uploading. So I can go to activity monitor here. And you can see I am sending data at 14, 17 megabytes per second. And now I get a 500 error file too large over here. So even though I told it to make the file thing smaller before, it didn't do that. So I'm just checking online if there's some kind of file upload limit. But it seems that there should not be, because it says over here that they allow for 256 gigabytes of storage space. So I can say, I get a 500 error saying that the file is too large. The file that I'm uploading is only about 1.6, 1.7 gigabytes. So now let's hope that it fixes this error now. But I'm actually curious by clicking around and seeing what are the dev tools here? So it has a console, network. This is a network request that failed over here. So this is kind of like Chrome. It's running a version of Chrome in the cloud, or it has all the same properties as Chrome. I can turn off the dev tools, and it basically made this fix after using 61 cents. So let me refresh the page and try uploading it one more time. And then let's see our network to make sure it's uploading. And you can see it says file too large again over here after it's finished uploading. So maybe I can turn on this high power model mode here to have a fixed error and say, I'm getting the same error again, and press enter. And I think this is maybe a hard built-in limit that it's actually not aware of, because the previous coding agent that I was using when not having high power mode on was just not aware of this limit. Since this is running on Replit, this may be a platform-specific issue. Let me check the documentation. So it's searching online for the Replit documentation itself, because for some reason it does not have it built in perhaps. So what it decided to do is just restart the server because the documentation doesn't specify it. So let me try one more time. Upload here, start processing. Okay, sweet. So it says upload successful, file has been uploaded. And now it says spawn ffmpeg end of whatever failed. Try again. And it like doesn't keep the file on the cloud. So I have to upload it again after it fixes this particular error. So I'll just paste the error into here. And bear in mind that this is now using the high power model. Okay, now fix the FFmpeg issue for about $3, which is insane. So I'll turn off the max mode over here, the high power model, and then try that one more time. And then do to upload, select this, start processing. Okay, now you can see it's been uploaded again. And it says FFmpeg spawn failed. So it's weird because it does say that it's installed FFmpeg over here. So maybe let me like exit out of everything, close all these tabs, and then go back to the application. Actually, let me press publish and see if this will work. So it's still bundling everything together, but I guess it's nice because I can see logs over here. I guess once it's done, I can see analytics of like who's coming to the website and from what countries and browsers. And then I can buy my own domain as well, maybe. So I'm going to go to a convenience store and then come back and see how it's doing. Okay, so I just came back and it seems that after building for about 6 minutes, it says the deployment failed to initialize, or I should contact Replit support. And basically if I try to look for the logs, if it will load, then it just says something went wrong, nothing in the logs. And I guess the only thing that I can do is press debug with agent. But I kind of had an idea whilst I was at a convenience store, whether on the preview version, if I upload a smaller file, so for example, if I upload a file that's like 50 megabytes, will that work instead? 65 megabytes here. Press open, start processing, and I still get the same error of spawn ffmpeg like not working. So I'm just going to look through the rest of the application whilst I'm waiting for this to like be fixed. And it seems that there are a bunch of integrations over here, like for Spotify, Dropbox, OneDrive, and so forth. In usage over here, I can see how much I've used. So you can see so far that I've used about $12.32 in agent usage without actually getting a working application, unfortunately. And then you're charged for all these other things as well, like app storage operations, app storage data transfer. And now the strange thing is over here it says that I'm on the starter plan and that I should upgrade to Replit Core. But when I press this, it says that I'm on the Replit Core plan for your current plan here. So that needs fixing. But yeah, anyway, let's see if this fix that it's coming up with actually works. And it says the page is unresponsive now, so I should have to exit the page or wait. And let's try again. And despite refreshing the page, it still seems to be working in the background, which is good at least because it means that like it didn't stop working when I had to refresh the page. Okay, now after about 8 minutes of working, it applied these fixes over here and it took about $1. So let's try republishing the application by pressing republish over here. Okay, so the publishing actually worked. So we'll open it up over here, choose the smaller file, press stop processing, and hopefully this should work. And it says request entity too large over here. So it seems that in production I'm getting this error. But if I do in the preview mode instead, then I think I get the FFmpeg error and I get the FFmpeg error. So in development or in preview it actually uploads, but in production it doesn't upload because it's like too big. Okay, so we'll give it one more shot before calling it quits. So I'm going to turn on the maximum autonomy mode and the high power mode and have it fix this FFmpeg error because like that's more important. I want it to work in preview mode at least. So I can press enter. Okay, so now it claims to be done again after using $3.68 for that job. We'll refresh it over here. And then after refreshing, we can select the file again, start processing. And it gives the exact same error. So basically, like, the publishing does work, except the file uploading doesn't work, like, at this endpoint over here. It tried to fix this twice, it failed both times. Maybe because it thinks that FFmpeg should be able to work, like, with Replit, but it just doesn't work with Replit. And if I go to my overall cost by going to home, going to usage over here, then basically it seems that I used $13.34 in credits out of $25, and I basically don't have a working solution. Or for example, I could have used Cloud Code for $20 a month, or ChatGPT, and used Codex CLI with ChatGPT for $20 a month, and I would have achieved like actual working solution. And it would be much cheaper as well in terms of getting tasks done with Cloud Code and ChatGPT's Codex CLI, because they actually own the product. So this is kind of what's happening. You have Anthropic, who are selling to Replit via their API, so Claude Sonnet and Claude Opus, and they're charging a markup because they want to make money on their API. And then you have Replit, who want to make money on you, so they're charging another markup. And that's because you're going through like another product. Whereas if you go directly to the provider, Claude Code is made by Anthropic, which is why they're in the same color. Anthropic are only charging a markup once, and they're not charging a markup to themselves over here. There's no markup to Claude Code via Claude. There's just a smaller markup over here. And actually, I'm pretty sure Anthropic are also making a loss on Claude Code because they raised $13 billion recently, which is much more than Replit is even valued at. So clearly they're subsidizing their own tokens the most for their own products over here. So this is probably subsidized Claude Code. And I know this is the case because if I go to my own Claude Code and I type in npx cc usage here, then I can see that over the last month, I've actually used $3,000 of Claude Code usage in the last month, all over here. Whereas I basically only pay about $200 a month for that plan. So I'm getting $3,000 of usage for $200 a month, which is like a ridiculous deal. And Replit are like physically unable to offer that because they don't have their own models and they're being charged a markup. Now, even though this application did not work, despite me giving the errors back to Replit, I think that basically if you're trying to make something completely new that hasn't really been done before, for example, what I'm doing over here, there's not a service that does exactly this. If you're trying to do something completely new, then it's probably better that you use Cloud Code or Codex CLI instead, because you will have an easier time in making something new. Because for Replit at least, they're making a really generic environment for you to be able to make a pretty generic app. And that app probably already exists somewhere else. So you see people making to-do apps or like projects manager apps or whatever. You can try and use Replit to make one and maybe you'll get there. But it would be better if you just use an existing like to-do manager app, unless you can't find that specific application out there already. But chances are you won't be able to make that with Replit, like I can't do over here. So in conclusion, I think that if you're trying to build something completely new that hasn't been done before, chances are you won't be able to do it with Replit, so you should not waste your money. But if you're trying to make something that has been done, and you know it's been done on Replit, but you want like the added bit of customization or something, and you have like more money to burn because you don't mind the markup and you want the easier process of deploying things and so forth, then you should probably use Replit. But it is worth bearing in mind that you will probably end up paying way more to get the same result because you're not being subsidized as heavily via Replit because they don't have their own foundation models. But if you actually do want to learn how to make something completely new and use the right vibe coding tools for this, then I cover a lot to do with that in my AI startup school over here. I basically cover a lot to do with vibe coding, what the best models are, which are completely unbiased because I'm trying out every single model and not being sponsored by them. And I also cover like various vibe marketing strategies so that once you've built your products, you can actually get in front of users and earn paying customers and so forth. Anyways, do check it out if you're interested. There will be a link down below. And if you want to learn how to use Codex CLI or Cloud Code at least, then I do have a bunch of videos on my channel about this as well.